Introduction to VA Emergency Ambulance Service Coverage. The Department of Veterans Affairs provides various healthcare services to eligible veterans, including emergency medical transportation. In this guide, we will explore whether the VA pays for emergency ambulance services. Eligibility for VA coverage. To be eligible for VA coverage of emergency ambulance services, you must be enrolled in the VA healthcare system and have a service-connected condition or a condition that is related to your military service. You may also be eligible if you have a low income or are catastrophically disabled. VA payment for emergency ambulance services. The VA does pay for emergency ambulance services, but only under specific circumstances. If you are a veteran and you require emergency medical transportation, the VA will cover the cost of the ambulance service if it is medically necessary and you meet the eligibility requirements. How to get VA coverage for emergency ambulance services. To get VA coverage for emergency ambulance services, you should call emergency services or go to the nearest emergency room if you have a medical emergency. After receiving emergency care, you should contact the VA to determine if you are eligible for reimbursement for the ambulance services. Medically necessary services. The VA will only cover emergency ambulance services that are deemed medically necessary, which means that the transportation must be required to treat a medical emergency. Examples of medically necessary emergency ambulance services include transportation to a hospital for a heart attack, stroke, or severe injury. Non-covered services. The VA will not cover non-emergency ambulance services, such as transportation to a doctor's appointment or routine medical care. You must use other transportation options or pay out of pocket for non-emergency medical transportation. Best practices for veterans. To ensure that you receive VA coverage for emergency ambulance services, it is essential to keep your VA enrollment up to date. Carry your VA identification card with you at all times, and contact the VA as soon as possible after receiving emergency care. You should also keep records of your emergency medical transportation, including receipts and medical documentation. Conclusion. In conclusion, the VA does pay for emergency ambulance services under specific circumstances, including medical necessity and eligibility. By understanding the eligibility requirements and following best practices, you can ensure that you receive the medical care you need and get reimbursement for emergency ambulance services. Remember to always prioritize your health and seek medical attention immediately if you have a medical emergency.